Hi everyone, welcome back. As we expected, there is mounting evidence of a weakening labor market in the United States. This is really bad news. With the Federal Reserve meeting coming up during the first week in November, after the elections take place, of course, I really look forward to hearing what Fed Chair Jerome Powell has to say about this, how he will explain this. I'm sure that he will have an excellent explanation to share with us. Perhaps the weakening of the labor market is transitory this time. We will see, but I am looking forward to hearing his commentary. Well, what I'm about to share with you is very, very concerning. Layoffs are surging across the United States. They are primarily driven by what you would call white-collar, corporate, professional employees being let go as companies point to an economic downturn and an increase in the use of AI technology. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look at two excellent charts. US layoffs jumped by 160,000 in 1 month alone to 1.8 million. This is the second highest reading in 4 years. On a monthly basis, layoffs have increased by 540,000, which represents a 42% increase over the last 3 years. The number of layoffs, by the way, mostly driven by the private sector, as a percentage of total employment, rose to 1.2%. This is the highest since December of 2020. Here's the second point that I would like you to consider in the context of labor market and the fact that it is indeed weakening. The share of workers voluntarily quitting their jobs dropped to 1.9% in September. This is the lowest point since the 2020 health crisis. Outside of that, this is the lowest level in 9 years. As you can see here, this is also the largest decline since the 2008 financial crisis. So in a nutshell, it means that the private sector has slowed hiring and employees are no longer in the driver's seat as they were several years ago. Now they're directly dependent on their jobs, on their employers, because those are more willing and they're able to replace them at any given point in time because there is an increase in the number of those who are looking to find jobs, to find that full-time employment. This, of course, means that wage growth has slowed and will unlikely to pick up anytime soon. So if you're in a position where you are considering changing companies for maybe a similar role, it is unlikely that you will get a higher offer than you are currently making. Lateral moves won't be as profitable as they were several years ago. Now, recently we've had several big US corporations announce layoffs. Layoffs are typically explained as a way to cut costs. The code word, of course, is operational efficiency. This is needed when businesses are not growing. They're not growing because they're struggling to keep their doors open and to make the same profit margin that they once enjoyed. The month of October marks the 7th time this year that job cuts announcements are higher than the same month 1 year prior. So year over year, the increase is noticeable. So far this year, companies have announced plans to cut 665,000 jobs, an increase of 3.7% from the first 10 months of 2023. According to S&P Global, 1 in every 4 American workers that have lost their jobs this year worked in professional and business services, a sign that the white-collar labor market may be straining under the weight of high interest rates and that technological advances may already be making some workers obsolete. This is extremely concerning. In September alone, employers shed nearly 500,000 professional and business service jobs, which of course includes accountants, consultants, legal workers. And this is the highest for the group in nearly 2 years and more than any other sector during the month, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data that was released on October the 29th. Through the first 9 months of 2024, professional and business service sector jobs accounted for more than 3.7 million of the nearly 15 million layoffs and discharges in the United States. There were 7.4 million job openings in the United States in September. This is the lowest number of openings since January of 2021. Bureau of Labor Statistics says the jobs data shows a clear trend of cooling and rebalancing as job openings have fallen steeply from their peak in late 2021. So far this year, Walmart and McDonald's laid off corporate employees. And we know that things are getting very, very bad when Walmart and McDonald's in the United States have to let people go. McDonald's in general is not doing very well. Last year, they laid off hundreds of corporate employees as part of a company-wide restructuring. At that time, McDonald's actually temporarily closed U.S. offices that entire week as it planned to announce internal layoffs remotely to affected employees. So it didn't want those who were chosen to stay to know how many people were actually let go. Recently, John Deere, an agricultural manufacturer, has announced another round of layoffs of nearly 2,600 operational workers across its network of plants. These layoffs will be effective January 3rd, and John Deere emphasized the layoffs were not a result of moving production to another facilities, but rather due to a sluggish farm economy. Demand for new farm machinery has fallen in the wake of low crop prices and high borrowing costs. So you see how everything is connected, forcing dealers to limit their inventory. It is important to note these layoffs are due to reduced demand for the products produced at these facilities. They're not related to production moves, the company wrote. As we have reportedly stated, layoffs this fiscal year are due to the weakening farm economy and a reduction in customer orders for our equipment. As you may know, Deere produces construction equipment as well, and guess what? That line of company's business is also struggling, so this is across the board for them. Further reducing Deere's outlook has been dampening demand for its construction equipment. Single-family home sales are down 30% in the United States, something I've covered before. Single-family and multifamily housing starts are down 10% and 40% respectively from peak levels in 2021. Every single week, I write a weekly recap post over on my Substack at worldincontext.com. You're able to find these charts and many more that will help you get a better understanding of what's going on today in the United States and also in global economy and in global affairs in general. So make sure that you are subscribed to worldaffairsandcontext.com if you want to stay updated. But on November the 1st, Friday, we will receive the October jobs report with the latest employment data. I will keep you updated. This will be the final jobs report before the November Fed meeting, so it will be extremely, extremely important. Just a couple of days after the US elections, the Fed will meet on November the 6th. Markets at this point see a 95% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut and a 5% chance of no cuts at all. So stay tuned. Make sure that you follow me on World Affairs in Context if you want to stay updated. I think it is a wonderful resource for those of you who want to support and to follow my work. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate you joining me. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. It goes a long way. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.